Yo, what is up guys, it's Cross, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about budget gaming keyboards, specifically my top 3 budget wired 60% keyboard. And I know that does sound like a little bit crazy, that title's a little weird, but yeah, I decided to add some specific criteria for this video, just because there's so many budget options out there, there's so many different layouts. I decided to focus in on just 60% keyboards because that's what a lot of you guys want. If you guys are just strictly using this for gaming, you guys want a 60% keyboard. So yeah, sticking to 60% keyboards, as well as it needs to be wired. I personally do not like wireless gaming keyboards. I just like having that safeguard, knowing that it's connected to my PC and it's going to give me instantaneous response times. So yeah, it has to be wired, as well as it has to be found on Amazon. I want all these keyboards to be extremely easy for you guys to locate and find, as well as purchase. So that is the strict criteria for this video. We're gonna start off at number 3, and we're going to be going up, and the number 1 keyboard is going to be my number 1 pick. So we'll start at my number 3 pick right now. So kicking off the list at number 3, we have the Wier WK61 V2. So this is going to be my number 3 pick. So this keyboard is a 60% keyboard, which means it has 61 keys. For the connection, it is wired only, USB-C, we love USB-C. For the switches, it's going to come with linear switches, specifically the creamy red linear switches. It also depends on the variant that you decide to pick up. For the keycaps, it has the PBT pudding style, also known as creamy keycaps, which are thicker and definitely have a more premium feel. For the mounting, it has a top mount and it's hot swappable. So some very cool stuff with this keyboard, and the price comes in at only $32. And just to quickly specify, for this video specifically, I am considering budget options as $50 or less. So we have a very strict, true budget keyboard selection. A lot of YouTubers who make videos on budget keyboards will throw in like $100 budget keyboards. That is not what I'm doing here. I want to find you guys some true budget finds. So yeah, this keyboard comes in at only $32 on Amazon right now. And I also just want to make this very clear. All these are the current prices on Amazon. Prices change all throughout the day. They fluctuate like crazy. So if you guys go onto Amazon and hit one of the links and see that one of these prices has changed, I apologize, but it does fluctuate all the time. Right now, it is only $32 though, which is insane. So what I like about this keyboard, it has nice keycaps and color options. They're actually really fun. The pudding/creamy style gives a better light diffusion with the RGB and definitely gives off a more premium aesthetic. It is hot swappable, has really solid lighting, and I think it has a good feel for the money. It's very affordable and has some decent performance. Some of the trade-offs with this keyboard is it definitely might not have as high of a polling rate or as premium internals as more expensive boards like the Apex Pro Mini or something like that. The polling rate is only 1000 Hz on this keyboard, but let's be real, a lot of you guys aren't really noticing a difference between 1000 and 8000 Hz polling. I personally think that is a lot of like placebo effect, but 1000 Hz is completely fine, especially for $32. Another trade-off is it does have a plastic case, so it's not as solid or dampened as metal/gasket designs, but at the end of the day, it's a budget keyboard, so you are getting some solid specs with this keyboard. So yeah, number 3 is going to be that Wier WK61 V2. Now let's head into our number 2 pick. So for my number 2 pick, I have chosen the Aula Win60 HE, which is absolutely crazy for the price when I talk about all the specs with this keyboard. So let's get right into it. For the specs, it also has a 60% compact layout, so 61 keys. For the switch type, this keyboard actually has magnetic Hall effect switches, which are absolutely insane. This keyboard is also hot swappable, which is very awesome if you guys want to swap out those switches. The polling rate is actually up to 8000 Hz polling rate. Again, I'm not huge on 8000 Hz polling, but it is insane that a budget keyboard can have 8000 Hz polling. Very high, good for esports, crazy fast response. For the backlight, it does have RGB with adjustable actuation modes, which is really cool. Some additional features, it has adjustable actuation, which is absolutely insane. Again, on a budget keyboard with adjustable actuation, that is pretty nice. For the price, it is typically around $36 for many variants. Remember, there are some variants, depending on what switches and what colors you guys pick up, it is going to fluctuate. But for the standard one that I'm going to have linked down in the description below, it is coming in at only $36 for all these crazy specs, which is absolutely insane. And for the actuation point on this keyboard says that it's fully adjustable between 0.08 millimeters and 3.4 millimeters, which is crazy fast in my opinion, especially for a budget board. So what I like about this keyboard, it obviously has those magnetic Hall effect switches, which is absolutely insane. Crazy low actuation point with 0.08 millimeters. 8,000 hertz polling is definitely overkill for many people, but it is obviously a very nice perk, and it has some really nice features. And the only trade-off that I can really find with this keyboard is definitely the plastic case. It's definitely going to sound a little bit hollow at times, but again, it's a budget keyboard at the end of the day, so most are going to sound hollow. It is very hard to find a good sounding budget keyboard. So yeah, that's the only downside that I could find with this, but other than that, it is a fantastic budget option. Now, finally getting to my number one spot, this is the budget gaming keyboard that I recommend everybody that asks me in my YouTube streams, in my YouTube comments. It is going to be the GK61. I've actually owned 3 different GK61s and I've loved them all. It is such a high quality budget gaming keyboard, and I will always recommend this as my number one option. The layout obviously is going to be that 60%, 61 keys. It's a USB-C connection. The keycaps are ABS, so it is going to smudge, it is going to smear. At the end of the day, again, budget keyboard, it doesn't really bother me, and you could easily swap out those keycaps with double shot PBT, so honestly not a huge issue there. The backlighting, it doesn't have the greatest RGB, but I've never cared about RGB. I think it's pretty stupid with gaming keyboards unless you're like, you know, a young kid or something that wants their setup to like be nice and glowy and stuff, but personally, I've never really cared for RGB. Now, the price is going to differ depending on what model you decide to pick up. So right now on Amazon, it is currently $30 for Gateron optical silvers and $50 for optical yellows. And let me kind of differentiate and explain why I only chose those two. So the 2 fastest models with the GK61 is going to be those Gateron optical silvers and Gateron optical yellows. They are both 1mm actuation point, so both the exact same actuation point. The only thing that differs is that the optical silvers require about 10 grams more of actuation force required. I believe it is only 35 grams of actuation force for the optical yellows and about 45 for the optical silvers, so it's only a 10 gram difference in actuation force, but a $20 difference in price. So it is a little crazy. I've always recommended the optical silvers as the best option that you guys should pick up from the GK61. It is $20 less than the optical yellows. You are still getting the same actuation point for $20 less, and you're really not going to notice that 10 gram actuation force difference, because if anything, you're going to fat finger more on those optical yellows because of how sensitive it is. So honestly, $30 is a great budget option. I've always loved the GK61. It has great value, a lot of bang for your buck. There's lots of variants you can pick between different switches, different color schemes. The only things that I don't like about it, obviously, are those ABS keycaps. They tend to wear and shine definitely a lot more than PBT. And the only other thing is that the sound can definitely be very hollow. It is very hollow sounding, but again, I say this for every single keyboard. It's a budget gaming keyboard at the end of the day, and I think that it gives great performance. I remember I used to play competitive Fortnite on this keyboard, and it still gives insane performance. I find myself actually going back to play on this keyboard a lot because it's very fun to play on, and I really like it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I will have all these keyboards linked down in the description below. They will all be Amazon affiliate links if you guys want to check those out. If you guys have other recommendations, feel free to put them down in the comment section below. Remember, at the end of the day, this is all personal preference and my finds. So these are my recommendations. You guys might have other recommendations, and yeah, feel free to throw those in the comments down below, and I might end up trying them out. So yeah, with that said, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.